Hey fishing friend, JC here with Red Railing Fishing. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a bunch of baits that Sheepshead are attracted to. Some of them are free baits, some of them are baits that you have to pay for. People are obsessed with Sheepshead, you guys, and I think it's because you can see them around the pilings, the rocks, the docks. You see Sheepshead all over Florida, right? Yeah, I'm in Southwest Florida. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of baits that Sheepshead are attracted to, and we're going to go through these baits one by one by one. Some of these baits are not legal to use, you guys. You have to be careful. Just because you see some guy on YouTube out there picking up a bait and using it to catch sheepshead with does not mean that you can use it in your area. You have to know your laws. It doesn't matter where you're at, guys. You got to check your laws in your state. And I actually emailed the FWC about some of these baits in preparation for this video because I didn't want to misinform you guys. Look, I've been watching guys using these baits and just thinking, oh, it's okay, but I never checked with the FWC and I never actually looked on their website to see if they were legal to use. I just thought, oh, well, these guys are using them, it's okay. This stuff is going to shock you. It will. So make sure you stick around in this video. My number one bait, you guys, that I catch sheepshead on all the time, and that is because it is readily available in my area, and that is live shrimp. You can get them just about anywhere in Florida, right? You can go out and catch your own live shrimp, or you can go to the bait shop. Going to the bait shop is the easiest way to get your live shrimp. Now, I do catch sheepshead on small pieces of dead shrimp, but I do better when I fish with live shrimp rather than the dead shrimp. Next bait, you guys, is fiddler crabs. Got to be one of the most popular baits that people use in Florida for sheepshead, right? Fiddler crabs. Because some areas of Florida you can buy them. Where I'm at, there's no bait shop that sells fiddler crabs. Drives me nuts. I called all over the place unless I want to drive like 100 miles to get fiddler crabs. And it's hard for me to find areas where I can actually catch enough fiddler crabs. And it is time consuming to get out there and catch fiddler crabs. So much easier for me to just go buy live shrimp, right? But there you go, shrimp and fiddler crabs, two of the main baits that people use for sheepshead fishing. These next two, you guys, barnacles and oysters. You have to check your regulations for the area that you are in Florida or any state, because oysters are not always harvestable, okay? Not harvestable to use for chum and not harvestable to use as bait. And there are certain times of the year that you can and cannot harvest oysters. I mean, I see people in videos all the time. They're chumming with oysters. I just watched one the other day from the Tampa Bay area. I'm like, I'm pretty sure oysters are closed over there. You can't just be harvesting those things and cracking them up and stuff. But anyway, you guys, you got to check and make sure that it's legal to use them. But sheepshead love oysters. Somebody came up with this little like mesh bag thing that you can actually put the oyster inside of and put a hook through. Maybe you can buy canned oysters or something. I don't know. Go to a restaurant and buy oysters. Pretty expensive for sheepshead bait unless you can get a really good deal on that. Anyway, barnacles and oysters. Barnacles can be used for sheepshead. I've seen other YouTubers use barnacles. I never have. It's popular in videos. You will see guys take some type of scraper. They'll scrape the pilings to get the barnacles off to use as chum and get the, get them sheepshead all excited and fired up to eat. Then they drop whatever bait down there and they start catching the sheepshead on that. So yeah, you got oysters and barnacles, mangrove crabs and mud crabs. Those two crabs, I actually emailed the FWC, you guys. Those are baits that I have harvested and used. I've seen other people use those baits. Mud crabs, I have checked the regulations on those to make sure that they're okay to use. I never did on mangrove crabs. So I emailed the FWC recently. They responded. I asked them if mud crabs and mangrove crabs were actually legal to use and how many could you use. And they wrote me back and they said yes, that they are an unregulated species. But here's the thing, you have to make sure with your mud crabs that you're not harvesting stone crabs. I made a video about that, you guys. I'll put a link here. You can see about harvesting mud crabs. I did talk to an FWC officer one time. I asked him, what is the number one thing that you look for if a fisherman is fishing with these little crabs to determine whether he's using a mud crab or a stone crab? The FWC officer said the number one thing that they look for is stripes on the legs. If they have stripes on the legs, there's a good possibility it is a stone crab. Now, they use other factors to determine whether it's a mud crab or a stone crab, but it's the main one, you guys. Do your own research. Make sure you check out my video that I made on that. So you got the mud crabs and the mangrove crabs. Mud crabs are hanging out underneath the rocks. Pick them up and you can harvest them that way. The mangrove crabs, you guys, mangrove tree crabs, right? You'll find them in the mangrove trees, but I very rarely find enough in the mangrove trees to use for bait. I always find loads of those little guys underneath these bridges that go over the major highways. And I think what it is during the winter, that concrete is warmer than the outside air. And so those crabs, they get up in those crevices of the concrete and they live up there so that they can stay shielded out of the wind and also stay warm from the concrete. So I tend to catch a lot more mangrove crabs around those overpasses than I do in the actual mangrove trees, but you'll find them around the mangrove trees for sure. All right, let me talk about a bait that is illegal to use for sheepshead. I have seen some videos of people using these for bait in Florida. You cannot use hermit crabs, okay? I emailed the FWC. I had read the regulation. I was pretty sure that you can't use hermit crabs, but I emailed them recently just to confirm that. They emailed me back and they said that hermit crabs can only be harvested and kept alive for aquarium use. So don't get out there and start pulling those little crabs out of those shells. That is against the law to do. Look, guys, I know we've all slipped up and we've all done things that we thought, hey, there's some free bait right there. You know, we're just going to use that while we're out here. And then we didn't even think about checking the regulations maybe until we got home or whatever. So yeah, it's really important. I keep saying it's really important. It is important, you guys. I just have spent like a half hour researching the new snook regulations because snook season is open. But yeah, I mean, there's only certain areas that you can fish for those things in Southwest Florida. So you need to check those regulations all the time. Blue crabs, you guys. Blue crabs, I've never fished with blue crabs, but people will take blue crabs, chunk them up in little pieces, hook them on the hook, drop them down there, and ba-bam! Sheepshead love them blue crabs, and you know you can harvest blue crabs out on the flats, right? Get out there at night with your light. I've done that before, and you catch your blue crabs that way, or someplace you can go and buy them. Actually, some grocery stores will sell blue crabs as well. Same thing with live shrimp. You can get out on the flats. You can harvest your own live shrimp in Florida during certain times of the year. Like I said, I'll put a link to that video. I harvest shrimp and crabs during different times of the year out on the flats. It's a lot of fun to do. Also, store-bought clams and mussels, you guys. I'm going to put a link in the description area. Make sure you watch the rest of this video. I'm almost finished, you guys. Yeah, there's a YouTuber, Faith and Fishing is his channel, you guys. He made a great video when he first started his channel. I don't know if it was when he first started his channel, but it was a while ago. He went down to the jetties, store-bought from the grocery store. He bought some mussels and did an experiment to see if he could catch sheepshead. And son of a gun, he caught a bunch of sheepshead, or he caught some sheepshead using store-bought mussels. I know you can get, you know, clam per bait at Walmart and stuff like that. But yeah, sheepshead eat clams and oysters and barnacles and stuff like that. So, all right, the next bait, you guys, is Cranka crab lures, the fake crab lures. I caught the heck out of sheepshead that one year. Now, live bait works better for sheepshead. I'm telling you, I did the test at the jetties. I was catching sheepshead like crazy on live shrimp. I switched over to a Cranka crab just to see if I could catch them, and it took me a long time to catch a sheepshead on the Cranka crab. I mean, they were all fired up eating the shrimp. So yeah. Cranka crab lures, fake crab lures will work, but your live bait is definitely going to be better. All right, sand fleas, you guys. Yeah, sand fleas is another great bait, and you can go out on the beach and harvest sand fleas. Just get them in your sand flea rake, and use those guys for bait, man. Obviously, they are harvestable because people have been using sand fleas forever to catch pompano and sheepshead with. But so guys, those are all the baits that I am aware of that are great baits for catching sheepshead. All right, let me just run back through and make sure that I got them all. We've got shrimp, oysters, barnacles, mangrove crabs, mud crabs, fiddler crabs, blue crabs, store-bought clams and mussels, Cranka crab lures, and also sand fleas. Now, if you guys have any other baits that you use for sheepshead, free or that you pay for, please put your comment down below and let us know. Please make any kind of comment down below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click that bell icon. I upload videos all the time. There's over 600 videos in my library right now. A whole bunch of fish catching going on in there, you guys. And I take a lot of time to edit my videos because I want to put out quality content for you guys because you're quality subscribers, right? All right, thumbs up are appreciated. Get out there and go fishing, man. Life is fun. Live it. See ya.